It's Ektar, our Division C moderator. Ektar, thanks for being here today.
Thank you for the invite.
So I like to try to cast Friday nights when I can. It's a night where, frankly, my brother doesn't play, so I'm not missing time to spend with my brother and get into some NGS action. So today, oh, what on earth? I got a score problem here on my layout. Oh, not that. I just wanted to move the score for macro machines. It is right in the middle of their name. I don't
Screen
know
should
that
be
I
coming
can.
up in just a second. I have just a quick 15-second advertisement before I can critique the layout that you've got going on.
I moved the name of macro machines because I couldn't get it to move the score
Got it.
because the score is on the template. So special thanks to Seventh Ace for our template. Really quick before we tell everyone we're ready to go, I got to set up our final thing, which is Garden of Terror picked by Cosmos. So today we do have bans of Alterac Pass and Sky Temple by Cosmos. Macro Machines banned out Dragonshire and Towers of Doom. Macro Machines won the coin toss and they opted for first pick. And then Cosmos kept it a secret, but here we are going into Garden of Terror.
I have so many channel points to spend on making you work out this stream. I'm excited.
That's fantastic. I need more workouts. I probably can't do any planks today, however. At
That was
least
the
not
first
60
thing I
seconds at
redeemed.
a time. So I will have to do like two 30-second planks. For anybody who's unaware, I have a little bit of lower back issues. My back seized up a couple weeks ago. Our teams are starting, so we're going to be switching to the draft here in a moment. But
My
I
condolences for the back issue.
I'm not supposed to do a full 60-second plank yet, according to the doc. All right, we are moving into the lobby. Ooh, where's my co-host camera? We're gonna have to figure out how to add that one. Let's see. Window capture. Co-host. Add source. Ektar, you're everywhere.
I forget who sings that song.
All right, we're gonna trim this live on the air. Super clean
Michelle
broadcast
Branch,
skills.
that's who it is.
All right. So Cosmos is currently the number 12 seed in C West. Macro Machines is the number 13 seed. But really, it's because I think both of them have some of the fewest number of games played, and most of the division has played out their week already.
Yeah, Cosmos and Macro Machines. Cosmos is currently 2 wins, 4 losses. Macro Machines are 2 wins, 3 losses. But because Cosmos has a domination, whereas Macro Machines had their 1 match victory in a 2-1 fashion, Cosmos currently has the lead. Although they also have played 1 more match than Macro Machines have. So, very much still up in the air, but the teams are appearing to be quite evenly matched on paper.
Yeah, so for anybody who may not know out there, I myself am the Division C West analyst for Nexus Gaming Series, so it gives me quite a bit of scouting detail into the teams and being able to see stuff. So these two teams are very well matched. Again, on paper, we'll see how everything plays out here. Uh, I I've played against both teams throughout the years. I'm interested to see both of them have kind of unique drafts that I've played against through different events, whether it's NGS or Nexomania or what have you. So we saw Sylvanas banned out. We've seen Zeratul. That's going against Arcane 13th. I don't know who the Sylvanas is against, if that's against Kurama, Silver Jackal, maybe Odd Thought.
It is Odd Thought. I believe Odd Thought has played all of the Sylvanas games. Sylvanas currently has 100% representation in matches that Cosmos have played. It was either banned by them or picked by them every match up until now. Now it's getting banned against them.
Johanna, fairly popular generic band there, and then Falstad for the first pick. It is a rather large map, so I can see why to get rid of a global. I believe that Falstad has a lot of team making or team fight making potential, being as he's got things like Mighty Gust or Hinterland's Blast if you are going for that one-shot style.
Ooh, Cosmos picking up their other, I would say, signature hero in the Deckard Cain. In previous seasons, that was Odd Thought's kind of signature hero, but this season, when Deckard Cain has been called for, Kurama's been the one typically playing them, and Jimmy Bob Joe getting their signature healer in the white main as well. So both teams really sliding into some very comfortable picks.
All right, Peldor's letting me know that your sound is a little quiet, so I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Hopefully that helps. Thank
That
you.
is, cameras are off during actual game, right?
Yes.
All right. Part of the reason that I'm leaned back currently is so that the camera can pick up the wonderful attire that we've been wearing for this cast, but during game I'll be leaned forward quite a bit closer to the mic, so you might not want to raise it too much.
I'll keep that in mind. Blaze by Hoku. Hoku plays a lot of Blaze in coordinated play. Jimmy Bob Joe bringing in Whitemane, who I would say is a signature hero for them. And I think Whitemane is extremely powerful myself. I think as far as anti-dive goes, it's hard to beat her as a healer. Though I would say Deckard is probably pretty close there too.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Whitemane for this game in particular is that it's Garden of Terror. It's the biggest map that we have in NGS by a pretty significant margin. And Whitemane doesn't bring very good out-of-combat healing, nor does she bring much in the way of wave clear or camp taking. So the rest of the team is really going to need to be sure that they've drafted other heroes that can make up for those shortcomings. Since Rhaegar was fully available and neither team decided to go into it.
So far I would say that Bruisers, maybe the wave clear is to Blaze. For Assassins, I think the wave clear is probably more to Orphea than Falstad. Junkrat has some good wave clear available, just every auto attack is area effect. But I think being able to leverage the global has a lot of potential here. I thought that same question, Peldor, and that is, you believe Garden of Terror is larger than Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, I don't know that for a fact. It feels larger to me, so I'm willing to say that confidently it is. It also has more regular mercenary camps. There's the same total number, but bosses are a little bit different. Obviously, Cursed has a boss on each side, and Garden of Terror has a pair of siege giants per side instead of just the one siege giants and the one bruisers. So the ability to take camps on the map is even more important, I would say, for this map than for Cursed, and it makes it feel bigger, even if I don't know for a fact that it is. But I'm inclined to measure at some point in the not too distant future.
You're inclined to measure. All right, we're at the loading screen. Our big surprise of this draft has to be Tyrael Illidan coming out of Cosmos. I would say that everyone except perhaps Whitemane is extremely meta on the side of macro machines, but having the Tyrael Illidan come through here, I think is going to be our most interesting. Peldor, do me a favor, tell me the command to hide the chat, or at least move it, because man, that feels right in the way. All right, our blue side of Cosmos, we have Nay, who is on the Sonya. We have Imbuement on the Tyrael, Silver Jackal on the Orphea, Kurama on the Deckard, and Odd Thought on the Illidan. For our red side, who do we have?
On the right-hand side of the red, we have the Macro Machines. We have Hoku playing the Blaze, Arcane 13th on the Falstad, Jimmy Bob Joe on Whitemane. Death Knight is on, not a Death Knight, on the Junkrat, and Ratson is playing the Muradin. And if you go Options, Social, you can uncheck Team Chat. I think that'll get rid of it for the for the
All
course of
right,
the game.
we'll wait for. I don't know that we're gonna have a whole lot of chat from the teams at this point. It's probably mainly gonna be the Blizzard stuff, unless there's a particular salty moment or perhaps oops out there.
Checking out the level 1 talents as I am so wont to do. We've got Perfect Storm coming in from the Muradin, which is kind of a macro talent, but it's definitely the least offensive of all of his level 1 options. And I think the most interesting thing I've seen is definitely got to be the W build coming out from the Falstad.
So, as a tank player, I will tell you, I hate going against the W build, and I could see that in the off lane doing really well against Sonya, who also wants to be close. He's already up to 6 stacks, and so getting the cooldown reduction, getting the resets later on, all has some big potential. Tyrael finally picking his level 1 after over a minute.
Yeah. You know, we mentioned, obviously, Illidan is a pretty uncommon hero. I had a train of thought and totally lost it. So we're going to just
this is
move away off of that.
a one-shot comp, which
It doesn't have to be, is the thing.
Yeah, I feel like going against the white main, it's going to be very difficult. Tyrael did not take group shields. All right, Control Shift C. Thank you, Peldor.
Tyrael definitely went for group shields. Oh no, it's not. That's
Yeah, it's bigger Tyrael shields.
Oh.
Group shields is purple.
Ah, okay. I thought did
Same icon, just
did
purple.
they used to be the same color?
Probably, knowing Blizzard.
Okay.
So it's not the big sustain from Tyrael, which would be his auto attack build. It's not the team sustain, which would be the group
Ally
shields.
Yeah.
It's now the burst mitigation on Tyrael, trying to make him tankier, but in a burst scenario.
It does make me question whether or not we're going to be getting like a Judgment Hunt combo coming out. I thought before they could go with Tyrael, they could do Sanct, you could even do Metamorphosis. There's not a ton of lockdown on the side of Macro Machines, so
Ooh,
stopping
Arcane
Illidan...
almost getting caught down here.
Yeah, I think it'll be actually quite difficult for them to stop Illidan if they don't hit either a Raw Jet Prop or a Stormbolt, because there's not a lot of lockdown in the rest of the kit of Macro Machines.
I would have liked to have seen Muradin go for Reverberation at level 4 rather than Sledgehammer, just because that instant auto attack 50% reduction is so big against Illidan, who that's really the important part of his kit. Hoku surviving a gank attempt up here from 4 members of Cosmos. Blaze is not quite the unkillable offlaner, but man, it feels close sometimes.
Yeah, especially because they can go into the Adrenaline Stimpak, which you expect to see when you're running Blaze in the off lane, but sometimes you'll see him run full tank build even in the off lane, which makes him incredibly difficult to deal with, even if it does stymie his wave clear potential quite a bit. We do still have Falstad trying to put some pressure on into the bottom lane while the team is
with the
stalling
camp
out this objective.
too.
Yeah.
The first seed was bottom right. Macro Machines was able to pick that up quite easily, and they have the experience lead. Oh, Falstad flying in now. Big
Ratchet's
Jeff.
the only one that got kind of low, and they can step back a little bit and heal themselves back up. Move on to Odd Thought's going to get him in there. Arcane is chasing down Silver Jackal, but he's going to overextend and the first kill of the game in favor of Cosmos.
First blood. Illidan is very hard to get away from. That's kind of his shtick, if you will. So
Junkrat is annoying. That's kind of his shtick, and can really poke these objectives out. So Human Kurama having to walk very far forward to make sure that Death Knight can't continue poking them out. That is, I think, one of the things that Macro Machines have really in their favors. They can stall these objectives for a very long time if they can get the right setup.
And they got the entire wall bottom while stalling. Falstad was up there very early, but the camp was left alone. So a little bit even on the experience, but more macro has been done by Macro Machines in this. Well, we do see the Skullcracker out of Muradin, which does have some potential for stopping an Illidan or a Sonya Whirlwind, so I am glad to see that. But it's definitely not an easy one.
Yeah, I agree with the reverberation, though. Just the extra auto attack slow on Illidan is really valuable. They do have the nanomachine coating for Blaze. That is one good way to slow Illidan's auto attacks. Because
But
it isn't just while they're standing in the oil, it's while they're standing in oil and for 3 seconds afterwards. So it's a very significant reduction in auto attack speed.
Yeah, I think just having both would have been good. Nice delay from the Falstad.
Before we ever got into this, to get a prediction going, which we did, 610 points on Macro Machines, no points on Cosmos. So very lopsided predictions if things end up going in the way of Cosmos.
Well, in fairness, we're only at 10 viewers that I can see, so perhaps in games 2 and 3 we'll get more. Not a lot of NGS action on a Friday night, but we do have 3 games being broadcast, or 3 matches, I should say.
We also have the Hunt and Judgment picked up here, as well as Leap and Crushing Jaws. They really just want to pick one person and make them super dead. Murden is the first target and is absolutely going to fall to the 4 heroics thrown out by Cosmos.
4 ults down, but also they have 2 of the seeds and can now get the 3rd one, which is going to solve some of their macro woes. Cosmos opting to take this top camp.
That sounded like a portmanteau of macro and OWO. Murden is back in time. That's the thing. Like, the seed is just coming up in a second here. Falstad isn't here yet, but he can get here in a hurry. Karama with a big stay a while is going to do a lot to stop this objective from coming out. Hoku barely gets up in time. Big root going to come out onto Hoku, and the Riptire's coming out is going to do some good damage, actually. And heroics are not back up yet for Cosmos.
Murden in there with Avatar getting big storm bolts and just meleeing away. The bunker saving a lot of people. The white main Aegis overlapping, but Sonya goes down. Big stun by the Murden. And he leaps out for that second wind.
I really like the wombo that came out onto the Murden. It was just a little bit too early. Murden was able to come back in time. They weren't able to get the objective quite quick enough. And that meant when the objective fight came out, with Murden now back, they had all of the heroics down except for the stay a while, which was used to try to zone. And after that, they had literally no heroics to their entire enemy team's fleet of them.
Macro Machines running at this bottom fort that their camp was able to get half of, and there it goes. First fort of the game going over to Macro Machines.
Yeah, really living their namesake. Arcane already up to almost 40 stacks. That is a triple combo coming out, and
oh, the Deckard root catching him, and Whitemane in a little bit of trouble. Oh, we see the Crushing Jaws. She is going to go down. No, she survives with sub 100 health.
It was a good kill. I think it was maybe an overcommitment. Either Leap or Hunt would have been, I think, enough for the second stun. Both of them overlapped a lot in a big way. I wonder if they could have saved one of them and had it available for this next objective, although Illidan, with his incredibly overpowered battle momentum style trait, is working on getting his cooldown back.
Yes, he is, down to 20 seconds now. So this is our 5th seed, so one team is going to have the tears after this. Arcane 13th flying in. Sonya backing up, going a little bit safe. Mid camp pushing in for Macro Machines. Bottom camp for Cosmos. Stay a while. Will they wake up the Blaze this time? I'm really glad to see the Riptire, and I feel like level 20 it's going to get quite a bit.
We have the full combo available once again from Cosmos. Let's see if they're going to try to rip it, or if they're going to
allow the objective. The leap just to get the interrupt.
A huge Divine Aegis coming up from the Whitemane, though, keeping everyone nice and healthy with that 40 armor, as well as the Zeal that gets put onto everyone. So big surviving coming out from the side of Macro Machines, and that should secure them the first objective of the game.
A very small point in that fight was Illidan was chasing, and he ran into a Junkrat trap, which shut down his ability to keep going in that fight, and that's how they killed him.
Yeah, so the Terror's now spawning in all 3 waves. Hoku is already clearing out the minions here. For those that don't know, the Garden Terrors, they don't lose health over time the same way that the spiders do, including the Spider Queen, they lose health on every auto attack that they swing out. So you can see it coming down in chunks like that. So the more that your team clears the minion waves, the less that the Terror has to do it, and the healthier it'll be able to push on to their more important buildings.
Oh man, big lightning rod kill top from the Falstad. Arcane's already got 51 stacks on that. 24 more and he's done. But right now he's already got the 2-second cooldown, and at 75, takedowns will reset the cooldown.
Yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job of stacking that on the enemy offlaners. They want to try and stay and fight, but at the same time, getting stacks eventually you kind of reach a critical mass where it just doesn't become worth it to stay and fighting on the Falstad anymore.
And full lightning rod build, so he's getting the shields, he's got the range. You see the cleanse kind of neutering the combo there.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do when you're overlapping your CC that hard onto the same target. One intercession is just going to make that absolutely nightmarish for the members of Cosmos to deal with. Not
Mighty Gust forces the disengage.
Losing a keep during this objective phase would have made the rest of the game much harder for Cosmos, but given that they still have 2 seeds, they probably won't be able to fight for the next one as their opponents are up level 16. Arguably the most important talent here that isn't 10 or 20, but will be able to fight for subsequent seeds.
So one thing that I would like to see Cosmos do here is be more passive about their experience collection. They're forcing everything towards the macro machine side of the map, and it's making it so by the time they're 16, macro machines is going to be 17, maybe even 18. They gotta get out of this fight.
Yeah, they've only engaged onto Imbuement, who does get booped out in a big way. He should be able to use his Q to escape. Uses the Judgment a little bit suspiciously, I'll say.
Orphea did finish her level 7 of Mind Devourer there, but the level 1 Growing Nightmare still waiting for that 3-hero hit.
Ooh, Silver Jackal put into a pretty rough spot. He is going to get taken out here by the side of Macro Machines, showing that they have micro chops as well as a huge stun comes out of Kurama, and that's going to be another kill just outside of the range of that keep.
So tough to fight down those 16s. Couple of kills and a keep gone.
It looks like this is actually a core call coming out from Macro Machines. They're chasing down Imbuement once again. A little bit of slow from the Dwarf Toss is going to keep him.
Oh, they got after the white main, but she is able to sustain through it.
Yeah. White main's heroics are so crazy. If her base kit was like as good as some of the other healers in this game, she would be a monstrous hero. Just showing how good she is in particular comps or against particular comps, and that is the core falling very low.
Yeah, that's game. That was a good call by Macro Machines to just go for the end.
Game number 1 going in favor of Macro Machines.
Alright, we're going to come over to our game summary for a moment. Wait for the program to respond. My old computer wondering if it will survive the moment. Alright, so not a huge kill game. Only 3 kills achieved for the side of Cosmos. White main being able to keep so many people alive. 9 kills for the side of Macro Machines, doing some great work. Switching over to the talents, once before that I suppose, we do have some big damage out of both Orphea and Junkrat. Great siege damage for both Orphea and Blaze, but coming over here to talents now, Cosmos did get a couple of 16s locked in right at the last moment there, but I do think that Cosmos had the more difficult to execute comp. I appreciate the courage of it. I just think it's really tough to have that going into a white main.
Yeah, for sure. Especially, they got a couple of really good picks. It was just unfortunate in the timing. They got them a little bit too early. So like Murden and Falstad, the two that really come to mind, were both able to get to the next objective in time for the subsequent fight. and Cosmos had used all of their heroics in getting those picks. So I love what the comp did, and I hope that they're able to make some of the small adjustments that'll allow them to find better success with it in the future.
All right, we're going to pick one by Macro Machines. Look at that stuff updating for me. Thank you, Seventh Ace, for the controller tool. This is great.
Yeah, it's the only thing that allows old men like us to do casting.
So I asked one of my nerd friends today, not today, this week, if I should get a Stream Deck, and he said probably not. He just he just didn't think that even with that it would work. But I learned, we're gonna pull this over here. See these gray keys on my keyboard? Apparently Corsair has it set up to where that will work with the Elgato controller. So now I
Oh,
just
that's
gotta
cool.
figure that out. And then I can do like stream scene changes. Boom, boom, boom.
I just use keyboard shortcuts for all of the scene changes.
I don't know how to do that. So that would be the why. All right, we do know that our next map is going to be Battlefield of Eternity. I don't know who's picked it yet, but
We're seeing Team 1 as first pick, so
so
reading between the
Team
lines,
2 with the
Macro
pick.
Machines chose the map. In OBS, if you go Settings, Hotkeys, you can scroll down in each of the scenes. The very first hotkey you can set is Switch to Scenes, so you can use a key press or a combination key press to quickly switch to any scenes that you have set up.
See, that is, I'm on Streamlabs OBS, not just OBS, so it's actually the bottom one. Um,
Ah,
but I still got to figure that out. The nice thing
yeah.
about a Stream Deck is that it would just be button pushes. I would
I
just be
mean,
like,
this is just button pushes. It's just a 3 key push.
all right, but I could set it up on the iPad or the gray buttons that I said there, and I just push it, and then it's like, bam, it's in. So,
True.
all right, I got a posture check from Zephyr Mott. So, to
Ooh, got Hydras as
showcase the
well.
tie, I know that Zool Rules just mentioned it. Here, I'm saying this is a Nexus Gaming Series tie that Occult Wiz designed for me, and I purchased off the NGS Merc store. Which, for anybody that doesn't know how to get to that, I didn't know for a long time, and it's on the NGS website. If you go to, let's see, Community Spotlight, the top thing is the NGS storefront.
Also, if you type !store, shop, or storefront into the NGS Discord, it should give you the link as well.
So
And if we're showing off NGS swag,
oh yeah,
this is my NGS jersey, also designed by Occult Wiz, but purchased for the board of the time by Aura. Uh, and different but similar jerseys of kind of a similar like are also available in the NGS store.
nice, nice. Yes,
Like we
Caledorn,
getting.
they asked for ideas during the mead hall, and I reached out to Occult Wiz and I said, so how much trouble is it to design a tie? And this is actually the second design that she made, because I wanted more of the orange fieriness, so she gave me kind of a lava design on the tie, and then put the NGS logo in it. And I've had it for close to a month, and just been waiting for it. All right, I believe we're ready. Should I tell them we're ready?
Yeah, I think we're good. We filled enough of that dead space, like you mentioned before.
So, one win for Macro Machines now means that if we were to immediately update the standings between the two teams, they are actually equal in points currently. Um, oh, and you know what? I put Cosmos in as the number 12 seed. They're actually tied with USAE, so they're all three teams would now be the number 11 seed at this point.
I'm
Oh,
super interested in this map pick, by the way, because it was chosen by Cosmos. They haven't played this map yet this season, so Could be any kind of secret strategy coming out for them for us to see.
Wait a second, it wasn't picked by Cosmos. Cosmos has
Oh, you're right.
first
You're
pick.
right. You're right. Sorry, Macro Machine.
You threw me off for a second there.
I threw myself off there. Now I have to check to see if Macro Machines have played it. They also have it. So
Brand new map.
all of that still applies, just to the other team.
I told my team we were picking Garden of Terror if it was available last night. We did, and then we lost on it. So
We picked Garden of Terror, and the enemy team immediately realized what we were planning to do, and so they banned the relevant heroes, and our whole strategy went down the drain. Wait, we can't get the heroes that we wanted to play on the map? Oh no.
All right, they are starting. So once it moves in, I'm gonna switch to the draft screen. Boom. Yeah, we had a win condition and then we screwed it up. And frankly, cats on my keyboard deserved the win in game one. We didn't, and so we did get a reverse sweep, thankfully. But yeah, we had a win condition and we blew it.
My team is very good for the first, 16 levels. We're just really not so great at closing the game out, and our points currently reflect that.
Well, it used to be in Heroes of the Storm that the comeback mechanics as they were, you could build more of an early game lead and kind of keep that lead as the game went on. But nowadays in Heroes, it's kind of if you don't end before 20, you just turn the game into a coin toss.
I am very aware.
All right,
used to be that XP was the best predictor of who was the winner of the game. Now it is cumulative death time by the team.
We see again the ban on Zeratul followed by the ban on Sylvanas. So I don't think either of them are generally considered super high priority for this map, but I know I wouldn't want Zeratul tearing apart my racers as they were trying to win the objective.
I think Zeratul is very... something you can definitely play into if you kind of expect it. You mentioned he's very good at tearing up the back line, but what if you just don't have a very weak back line?
I agree. I really like Uther into him because you can miss a taunt with Varian, but you can't miss a stun with Uther on Zeratul.
You can't miss a taunt.
Sure you can. You charge, and he blinks away before the taunt gets off. On Uther, you just wouldn't use any ability.
Q stuns. W also stuns.
So, no Whitemane, no Stukov. So, our,
Vala, very popular generally, but quite good for the map as well. Greymane, not super popular, but this is definitely one of his better maps just because he can race better than almost any hero in the game.
I'm surprised at the low popularity of Greymane because I think that, like Vala, he can be a bit of that just glass cannon type of damage. But unlike Vala, he can have both ranged and melee, and armor when he's in melee, and stealth for a second. So I'm surprised at the priority that Vala receives in the game, and Greymane not as much.
Vala just kind of wins the game at 20 more than most other heroes.
Oh, Farflight Quiver.
It's so ridiculous.
So we see Diablo and Tassadar. I've been on the other side of Silver Jackal's Tassadar before. It hurts. While not necessarily seen as a traditional racer for this map, I think that the control he can provide over the race, that force wall that keeps you in the stuns, perhaps, can be a big deal.
And I think that people underestimate, speaking of, heroes that just kind of win the game at 20, Force Barrier is a ridiculous upgrade as well. It's so much range.
I
Like,
loved the old one. Back when it had a 3-second cooldown or whatever it was.
it was like it was like a 3-second cooldown, but it started when you used the ability, so it was like less than 2 seconds of downtime between uses, and it had a screen's worth of range. Old Force Barrier was ridiculous. Current Force Barrier, a little bit toned down from that, but you can put a slow on it too, so
Yeah.
it's not that much less ridiculous.
So we see Artanis.
Yeah.
Hoku has been talking about Artanis basically since she started playing the game however many years ago. Tyrande, who I think is one that is not often brought out on Battlefield of Eternity, but is extremely good. When you have racers like Greymane and Artanis that can then proc additional damage off of the Hunter's Mark from Tyrande. Lunara is also a great racer, being able to take that PvE talent at 1, and should the game require it, 4 and 20. I promise that wasn't just a joke to talk about weed.
Looking at these two comps, assuming that Lunara does go into the PvE damage on 4, I think it's definite race advantage in favor of macro machines. Not that Cosmos don't have good race potential, but if it comes down to 5v5, both heroes just kind of wailing on the Punisher or the Immortals, I think it definitely goes in favor of macro machines. So I'm interested to see how Cosmos are going to pivot their strategy to account for that.
I think that Cosmos's whole strategy, I switched to webcam view for a second while we are loading up here, they're a kill comp. Just like last game, they are a kill comp.
Prepare yourselves for battle, heroes.
All right. Well, I will introduce the red side this time first. We have Death Knight on the Greymane, Jim Bob Joe on the Tyrande, Ratson on the Johanna, Hoku on the Artanis, and lagging behind a moment, Arcane 13th on the Lunara. That is our red team of macro machines.
And on the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, they are Cosmos, looking to bring us to a game number 3 with Nay playing the Imperious, Imbuement on Diablo, Karama on the Deckard Cain, Silver Jackal on Tassadar, and Odd Thought avoiding the owl that the two allies that he had hit on Vala. So we've got Ranger on. Very quick aggression actually coming up from the side of Cosmos, using the wall into shadow charge combo that they have drafted into.
So I think prediction right now, thanks for the raid, Crush, is we're going to see the stay a while into APOC combo. Oh, Greymane might just die, but Diablo goes down too. Greymane survives very low. As the game goes on and Diablo gets a little bit beefier, perhaps he survives that.
Yeah, we had an Artanis get drafted and Crushinator shows up for the raid. Is it a coincidence? I don't think there's any shot.
Well, she was teasing it throughout chat today, so
They are going into the amateur opponent as expected for this map. Very occasionally you see Protector of Ire come out, but there's almost no way to get enough value out of their talent to make it worth racing. A little bit of another attempted engagement coming up from Imbuement with the wall going out, I think just a bit before the wall came up, so he charged through.
Diablo is Devil's Due, which I think is good for the fights around the objective. It's a little tough as he's dead right now, but I'd like to see Imbuement relax a little bit and focus on just getting the souls up. Right now, being only at 9 is just hurt quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's going to allow the opportunity for Macro Machines to get that machine in motion as they pick up the bottom camp. They'll be able to pick up bottom wave and then transition on over to their own bruiser camp. They check their opponents with the Sentinel. Know that they haven't rotated on over there quite yet, though they're probably going to want to be doing that in just a moment.
Well, and right now they are leading in every category possible for experience. Um, so I'm interested to see how this all unfolds. Again, I'm expecting just we're running at them to kill them comp out of Cosmos. And Imperius took percent damage at level 1, so his race is not going to benefit from that. But he's definitely going for those kills, whether it's on Artanis or Joe. Macro Machines now with 3 of the camps, a big experience lead so far. Tassadar down here, and teams are reporting to the objectives.
Yeah, and as we were expecting, we see the members of Cosmos rotating into the defensive posture. Ratson is stepping up, is going to take a little bit of damage, but...
Ooh, Force Wall into the stun. Lots of damage into the Gurman.
And Karama perfectly positioned the Dorito as well to make sure that there was no shot that they were going to be able to get the Gray Man out of there. And Tyrande, not particularly well known for her high heal throughput or for her cleansing ability. In particular, going into the Everlasting Light, not picking up a Loon's Chosen, so it doesn't have that burst heal that they can throw onto a dive target.
I think you've got to have Vala over Racing right now. And right now they're just kind of playing to try to not lose. I think sometimes you got to commit to having some race.
I think Cosmos are looking for a bigger teamfight win before sending people out to race. Vala is out now, but they don't have level 7 yet, and that's their big race talent to pick up the extra damage.
Oh, the spear got interrupted there.
Yeah, and Human taking a lot of damage. The Rubies came out, but Human wasn't able to go and step forward and pick them up, and that is going to be Diablo falling once again. Vala's going to be able to bring us into halftime.
Too far in.
But it's actually the other team, Macro Machines, got us into halftime. So no way that Cosmos are going to be able to compete in race at this point.
Yeah, Tyrande Mark going out, and this Immortal is just going to fall so quickly. So what was within 1,000 points ends almost a 5,000 point swing between the two teams.
Love to see both teams standing out here to grab the regen globes. That is 18% health and 14% mana. Going over to the side of Macro Machines, picking up another one onto the foreman in the box.
I don't know what that's like. I have a teammate, Osprey, who likes to pick up the globes before I can get them.
Well, maybe if you shame him enough during your casts, he'll change his ways. Shield is falling into the world. Another big combo coming out onto Death Knight. They are able to get into the Worgen form, and they're able to trade out on kills. Weren't able to use the disengage to get away.
There were several ruby potions just south at that point. Oh, yikes. I exited out of my all view mode. Oh, and Human's in trouble again. I don't know that he makes it out here. Devils do. Man, that's a lot of health he's regenerating now.
Yeah, those healing off regen globes is really quite significant if you're able to pick up a couple of them during a team fight. The only problem is a lot of team fights don't happen around regen globes.
That was a big push for a first objective on the battlefield.
Yeah, you don't typically see a fort falling after the first one, but again, all of the sort of race potential coming out from the side of Macro Machines transitions very nicely into the killing of buildings. Hoku, I think with the power of the Sentinel Wisp from the ally Lunara, saw that Odd Thought was rotating up into top lane, so are able to be far back enough that they don't become a dive target, but they are going to end up giving the top camp over to Cosmos as level 10s
Greymane and Joe are running over here. Oh, Hoku looking, seeing if maybe there was a swap potential. She didn't actually send out Phase Prism, so it was more just of a scouting, whatever the charge is called. Blade Dash.
Blade Dash. We've got the level 10s available for the side of Macro Machines with the Leaping Strike, Starfall, Suppression Pulse, Curse Bullet, and the Blessed Shield. I think Yeah, all of those seem fine. The only one I would maybe question is Starfall. Um, but
The ability to use the Shadow Meld? Shadow, what's hers called there?
I don't know, and there's a team fight happening. A big swap is going to get Hoku onto the point and all of Cosmos off of the point. A really nice level 10 engagement coming out from Macro Machines, allowing them
Shadow
to steal their
Walk.
opponent's cap.
The Shadow Walk would be good to be able to disengage a Diablo target from being able to be flipped for an APOC combo.
Stalk, Shadow Stalk.
Ah,
Got the 10s now on board for the side of Cosmos. Interesting, we've got Wrath of the Endurance coming out.
yeah, Super Suplex coming out of the Imperius,
And
who is, by
unfortunately,
the
if you're
way,
a
in a
Cosmos,
Nexomania skin.
Unfortunately, if you're a Cosmos fan, the objective is spawning in race positions. Diablo going for an RQA engagement, not quite finding the engagement they were looking for. A pretty big.
Oh, the
black hole
stay a
coming out,
while.
though.
Lunara
Another
killing
one for
the
one.
Vala, but the Greymane going down. Now there's the Artanis, and Geras whiffed. But there's going to be another kill perhaps on the Ratson.
Nice force wall is going to secure the kill, but a full shield immortal is going to come into top lane
Oof.
for Macro Machines.
So I think Cosmos's goal is to survive until the death timers are long enough to matter.
This is not the map that I would tend to employ that strategy on.
I agree, but their kills have evened out now.
Yeah. Arcane 13th doing what they can to put a little bit of pressure on, but knowing how twitchy Inhuman's engagement finger has been all match, I am surprised how close that they're dancing to the Diablo. We get a stab on Arcane 13th. Nay, flying a little bit, but is going to just kind of walk away from that engagement. Fort
We
is
saw
going
Blessed
to fall.
Shield used there.
Yeah, nice disengage coming out from the black hole once again. Inhuman getting kind of low. Nay steps forward with a big stab. He's also going to have to step back, though.
Artanis, meanwhile, picking up free experience here in the bottom lane. 13s are on the horizon for Macro Machines. Camps top and bottom for Macro Machines. 4-man on 4-man. Joe holding the bush, able to retreat out of that with no engagement from either team.
You know, with everything that's gone on, there's actually not a huge XP advantage coming out from the side of Macro Machines. The unit's getting quite low, but definitely doesn't have anything particular left to chase him down the rest of the way. Gets him with the very end of the cocktail, though. Kurama's going to get chased down next as well, and that is a really strong...
Man, the
2 for nothing in
damage
favor
that
of
Macro Machines took there makes them look so low, but there's nothing that Cosmos can do to jump out after them.
And Humans got ult. They is here. They could try for something, although the Sentinel Wisp is going to start giving vision over to the side of Macro Machines. They should be wise with their potential engagement. A really nice Leaping Strike is going to save Nay from the Imperius Spear. That was otherwise a stun for sure.
Oh, it would have been a dead Lunara. With the burst damage that Imperius has, she'd have been off the map.
Yeah. Objectives up in 10 seconds. Bruiser Camp is available right now for Macro Machines, really making sure that they can capitalize on their namesake, as the Macro Machine has just never stopped churning out map advantage in their favor, and they're going to use that big map advantage to go and start in this objective very
Bolts
fast.
ready for both teams. 13 on 13 engagement. Iron Skin goes out. You see the cursed bullet. Greymane is the first to fall.
I feel like Greymane had to have done something to upset Cosmos in a previous life.
Big team fight for Cosmos. They do have that camp pressure top lane approaching the keep right now. Vala is going to race. Silver Jackal going to clear as the Tassadar. And the 3-man of our front line, Kurama, Nay, and Imbuement, watching over the Belith. Oh no, not Belith, Ilarian.
we actually didn't get Monster Hunter from Odd Thoughts, so the potential race value was left on the floor in favor of the admittedly very strong teamfight potential, but it means that when they decide to turn around and race, it is not as definitive as it otherwise could have been. Odd Thought is stepping back so they can tap well. Both teams setting up for defensive postures right now. And neither team has a significant advantage level lead, but it's only for scaling, no talents. However, the map pressure is building up in top lane for Macro Machines, so either Cosmos have to take a fight decisively or back one off to deal with it.
I think they're just waiting for Imperius's ult. A couple more seconds, and now they're going in.
There goes the wall. Curse bullet hitting on Imbuement. Ratson is deep in the backline, putting a lot of pressure into Tassadar. Diablo is the first to fall, though. Nice black hole. He is going to appeal for Silver Jackal once again, but without the RQE, Diablo engaged it probably can't find too much, although Imperius is trying to make a hell of a case.
Got a big spear, hit the Anguirus super suplex. Oh, spear over the wall trying to get out. It was a tough one, but this one, the team fight goes over to the side of Macro Machines, and where halftime's already been triggered, this will be a decently shielded Immortal.
Retson did a great job of disrupting the backline, so Cosmos could never make their engagement happen. Tassadar, although he'd ended up dying under threat for so long, he wasn't able to contribute into the engagement that Diablo was trying to make, and so just the buttons were being pushed, but they just didn't quite find enough purchase. This is a really interesting build coming out from the Lunar player. Kind of an auto-attack build with the Wild Vigor and the Invigorating Spores. It's not something you tend to see, but it does give Lunar some percent damage, which, granted, with Curse Bullet is not something the team is in particular need of.
Big stun coming in from the Nay. He's getting blasted, though. He did not have a chance to pick up quite enough on the potions.
Once again, Impuma dropping the full combo into Death Knight, but this time they're not finding anything as they didn't have that extra damage coming out.
Swap in from the Artanis, finishing off the Deckard. Now the Vala goes down.
Impuma getting the unfortunate circumstance that sometimes happens, shadow charging the Greymane through the wall. He did get the stun, which ultimately led to the death, but was not in quite enough to follow up quicker.
This is a tough one. There's so much damage coming in.
And the core is falling fast again.
And that is our game. Macro Machines taking the victory. GG's called by both sides.
I feel weird saying this, but having now watched a 2-0 victory in Macro Machines' favor, I'm a big Cosmos fan. Like, their comps were so cool, and what they were trying to do to get kills was cool. They didn't win, but I liked it a lot.
I did like their comps. They had some, I would say, a little bit more off-meta picks. We certainly don't see Tassadar, Imperius, Diablo, Deckard so much. And Illidan and Tyrael, I think, is one extremely rare, even here in Division C. Silver Jackal topping the damage charts for their team. Death Knight topping the damage charts in PvP. But Hoku with Artanis taking the PvE spot for the side of Macro Machines. Showcasing talents here. I am going to see what we can do. Oh, we're still in a coin toss lobby.
Yeah, which makes it publicly available for Ratset and Jim Bob, Joe Bob to come and join us.
All right, that's right. Make sure, because I'm currently showing. Boom. All right. I was showing Johanna as my most recently played character as I was trying to get back to my scene selection here. All right. Well, congratulations, Macro Machines, on your 2-0 today. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Better than we were going in.
Yeah.
Little bit of nervousness coming in on a Friday night. What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have time to get drunk. Like had to go in sober. You always worry about those games.
I'll have to take your
Yeah.
word for it on that one.
I've been busy with school and
So-
work, so I hadn't played the game for like a week.
So wait, to back up, to have to take my word for it. Does that mean you've never had to play sober?
Maybe something like that, yes.
All right, good.
So, I'm being told by chat that they are demanding Hoku join the interview as well.
That's probably Hoku on one of her alts. Just ignore that.
It was actually Keladorn in this case, but...
Ah.
So, Game 1, Garden of Terror, they picked it. It's not been Garden of Terror's week for the teams picking Garden of Terror. A little bit of an oddball map. What were your thoughts going into it?
Oh shit, they have a lot of dive, and I don't want to die.
They did have a lot of dive.
You're Muradin.
Did you see the one they got me mid when like all 5 of them somehow teleported in from nowhere?
I mean, 3 of them had basically teleporting heroics, so...
Yeah.
There was just
That was a little rough.
there were no buttons pressed. It was just me
my
screaming.
goal was just to stay out of line of sight to cleanse whoever
Yeah.
got to.
It was just nobody come mid. Like it's just gonna go badly.
Yeah. I just tried to
40
stay
armor
out.
is a hell of a drug.
It is. I'm shocked that Whiteman got through. It's banned against me most of the games, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of
But if
surprised
they want to
that
let me have Whiteman, I'm not going to complain.
They played very aggressive comps in both games, and Whitemane is one of the better heroes against that. So for their style against the fact that you're like a Whitemane one trick, at least in NGS, I'm a little surprised too.
Yeah, I'm shocked
Yeah,
that they let me have it first game. But they
Game
learned their
1,
lesson game 2 and banned it.
Game 1, you had Intercession, you had Scarlet Aegis, and against a one-shot style comp, it was just the whole team was going to be cleansed if you made it to level 20. You didn't even make it there because the 40 armor was just so powerful.
Yeah, level 20 is a crutch.
Level 20 is a crutch. My bad.
My goal was to play outside of vision, so I was never the one being hit with those combos of the hunt and the leap and the whatever else. And I think when we were on core, it was the only time I got really hit, but team did a good job healing for me. So
Yeah, the entire first game, you only had 3 deaths as a team. So, very well done defensive play. The first one of those was Muradin being out trying to wave clear all on his lonesome, which we talked
Yeah, that's
about.
a bad habit.
Falstad got caught in bottom, I think, once, and then top, he kind of got
Yeah.
split from the team. Which is Arcane style of play, is just die by himself.
Is this the kind of comp you were expecting out of Cosmos?
Not really. We were kind of surprised by just the sheer aggression of it.
I wasn't expecting the Illidan, to be honest.
Yeah.
I had looked away during draft after I picked because I'm done. I'm not the person who drafts. I look back like they have an Illidan.
I think it was actually really good for them too, just because the rest of the team doesn't take camps at all. So like,
Yeah,
I feel like there's something there in the comp.
it was good. It was just like, but you could just, I don't know. I don't understand Illidan. I tried to learn him. I suck.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if they had switched the heroic, so they were in a very one-shot style comp, right? They jump, they leap, they hunt, I should say. They hunt, they leap, they judgment. If instead they had gone Metamorphosis, Wrath, and Sank, I think they might have felt unkillable and potentially able to just out-sustain you in team
That's what
fights.
I was worried about in draft.
No,
Yeah,
that's
they
a fair
kind of
point.
put all their eggs in one basket, and when just one cleanse and 40 armor stops it all, it's like, well, you just drove your collar into a brick wall.
Yeah, it was a tough one. I love the comp. I think it was adventurous.
Oh yeah.
If White
Yeah, it
Mane
was fun
hadn't
to
have
play.
been there, perhaps it would have got more value on the one shot. I hope we see more one shot comps out of teams throughout the entire division. But it was a tough one to really seal team fights if White Mane was present.
We play you later in
Yeah.
the season, so if you don't take that comp now, we're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Your disappointment's gonna run deep for you. I don't know what to tell you. So,
Damn it.
for anybody
I'm
who
not
may
gonna
not
get-
be aware, in Nexomania, one of the other little leagues out there, Macro Machines and my team of Can't Counterpick Stupid, I think faced each other 3 times through the regular season and the finals. So,
Yeah. A little bit of familiarity there.
but now going to game 2, you had pick there. What chose Battlefield of Eternity for you?
Honestly, Hoku scouted this one, and Hoku said, go to Battlefield of Eternity. And so we went there.
That is pretty accurate.
I'm pretty sure
think we-
Hoku was just looking for a way in to play
Artanis.
Artanis, but
That's
okay.
probably true also.
Yes.
We tend to do pretty well on Battlefield as a team, I think. So,
Yeah, it's a good map for us.
man, we're confident on that. We play good race heroes like Rayman and Toronto and Lunarno. I mean, those are all
Death Knight just
somewhat
felt
comfort-
like they were able to run away with a lot of the
He forgot we didn't have the white mane, and I think that he felt a little bit more unkillable than he honestly was in that fight.
Yeah,
he was.
I was
He was
spamming every
fully
seal out
half
of
of
it.
your team's deaths in that game.
He
yeah,
was
Like, he
fine
was
fast.
very killable.
Yes,
But,
he
no
fault of
also
his
did
own, to
go
be fair.
7 kills. So, on the flip side, he did participate in literally every kill. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he let us know that. He was
way
very
to stand
clear.
your ground, Death Knight.
Yep, he's like, I died 5 times, but I was involved in every single kill.
and to be fair, it worked. I mean,
Oh yeah, no, like if I played Garage, I would just throw him at their backline.
yeah.
I am not above
Taro
sacrificing
Gar,
him.
pick up that
Damn
talent.
straight.
You get to throw him more often.
Exactly.
It was just keep him alive long enough so he kills something and then heal the rest of the team because he's
Yep.
dead anyway.
Honestly, that was kind of how a lot of the fights went. Did Death
Yeah.
Knight die fast? Yes. Teamfight win
Did
by
he take-
Cosmos. Did Death Knight die slowly?
Yes.
Teamfight win by Macro Machine.
Basically.
And it always ended in his death, but it just, where in that cycle did he die?
Exactly.
Yes, how many of them went down before he?
Yeah, I think both of the first 2 kills in the game were a trade for Death Knight and Odd Thought on the Vala. Like, that happened multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like the first 5 seconds, Death Knight's like screaming, "Heal me!" in chat. I'm like, we've almost killed Vala.
Yeah, we were willing to trade.
10%. Vala's at like 10%.
Well, congratulations on the win. I definitely think you pushed well with the advantages that you earned, whether through macro or through team fights. The Immortals on your side, I mean, one of them was full shield going into that top lane, and so the side of Cosmos just didn't get to play until they had those long death timers on you to potentially bring back the game. So well done throughout the series. As we wrap up here and let you go celebrate with your teammates, what shout outs do you have for the evening?
I want to shout out our subs, Dark Knight, KLA, Poet. I want to shout out to Zed and Random, their coaches and in the org. I want to shout out to Rado and Nix. They played with us last season. We missed having them around, but always good to play with them.
Sure for
Thanks to both of you.
Skyfall.
Yes. Thanks to both of you. Like, we always appreciate being casted. You know, appreciate your time, and
And shout out
Always
to
fun.
Cosmos for the good match.
yeah, definitely.
Well, congratulations again, my friends. Go celebrate. Thanks for the exciting match to cast.
Thank you much. You guys have a safe night.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for the cast. Have a good night.
All right, this has been a Nexus Gaming Series production. My name is Valkymer. I'm going to turn it over to Ektar for any shout-outs for him, and then I'll do my final sign-off here.
Just the 2. The one that, regrettably, our guest before did not mention. Shout out to Velk's mom. And, shout out to my wife, Occult Wiz, in the NGS Discord for having a direct hand in producing the NGS swag that we're both wearing.
Thank you, Occult Wiz, for all you do. So, Again, if you want to find out more about Nexus Gaming Series, you can check out nexusgamingseries.org, which is there above our heads. If you want to know about me more, you can join the CCS Discord, which is the one below me here. We have a lot of fun in both Nexus Gaming Series and CCS. I now have some burpees and some
Shout out to 10
planks.
burpees for 500 channel points.
I also have a plank to do, though I'll probably have to do the plank in series. And frankly, I may go change my pants first because I am wearing suit pants. And I
Because
worry
I am
about doing the burpees in the suit pants. But we will go ahead and wrap up our broadcast here. My traditional shout out of Hi, Mom. But thanks everybody for being here. If you want to see Valk doing some exercises as redeemed by chat, I'm apparently going to go change clothes and come back to that. So we will be on the, I really need an outro scene, but that I don't have. So I guess we're going to be on the starting soon. But really, it's just going to be the exercises coming back from Valk, and we'll edit the video down before we upload it to. Although I guess maybe that's our spoiler protection part of the video, is having all the exercises at the end of it. So anybody who finds it on YouTube won't automatically know it was a domination by the length of the video. So, but I'll be back for exercises. Thank you, chat, for keeping me healthy. So
And we got Caledorn coming in with a yoga pose as well.
the yoga pose, I could probably pull off some yoga poses in the suit, but I worry more so about the burpees. I feel like these pants have a decent amount of give in them. I just worry that my large frame might still find a way to burst some seams doing some burpees. So hang out for more exercises coming your way, my friends. Ektar, thanks for being here.
Appreciate the offer. Thank you very much.
Okay. Oh, and it looks like we're going to an ad break. So I got time. I'll be back. This is my comms capture theme, but I made an exercise one, which is mainly just the webcam. You can see now I am in lovely pajamas that I'm pretty sure this set was given to me by my mother-in-law, but it might have came from my wife. All right. So I got stretches, floor exercise, yoga pose, 10 burpees, and some plank. All right, we're going to start. We're going to arrow this down. So my doctor doesn't want me doing 60 seconds of plank at a time right now. I threw out my back last month. So we are going to start. Oh. We got 30 seconds on the timer here for the plank. So we're going to start with 30 seconds of plank. I am going to take the headset off because I think it's going to fall off anyway. But the microphone is still live. Start. All right. Thank you for being here, Ektar. All right, so there's half of our plank. We're now going to do half of the burpees. We'll still try to leave the microphone live for everyone to be able to hear my pain. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we got half the burpees. All right, we got a yoga pose for 30 seconds. It was requested to do warrior. So there's 3 warrior poses. I don't actually remember what warrior 1 looks like. So you've got, I believe this is warrior 2, putting primarily weight over your forward leg, stretching your arms out. Well, I was saying thanks because he said thanks for the invite. I appreciate the work here. All right, so warrior 2. I think I'm about 15 seconds in. I really should have been counting. All right, warrior 2. Now we'll go this way. You can see some of my weights here. That was a gift, I think, from one of my kids. And tissues, because it's winter time. Sometimes I get sick too. All right. So that's warrior 2. Now, we also have, oh no, we had a stretches and a floor exercise. Well, we are going to give Celadorn extra value on his warrior pose and also do warrior 3. So warrior 3, you are, let's see, like this. So you've got, your weight is almost more on your back leg. Your hand is stretched up high. Oh, I suppose I need to be here so that I'm in the screen. Warrior 3. I still don't remember what warrior 1 is. But this one puts a lot of stretch on that inner part of your back leg. Gets a little bit of burning going. All right. We still have stretches, 30 per side. And we have leg day and floor exercise and more burpees and more that. So leg day, we're going to keep it simple. We're just going to do some squats here. So it's important when you're doing squats, you really don't want to go way past 90 degrees on your knees because you're creating more strain on your knees. Now, as you develop the muscles more, you can probably do more, but you really don't want to put too much on that. So here we go. There we go, 10 lunges. All right, so we're going to go back to the floor. We're going to get our 30 seconds is ready again. And here we are. We're going to finish our plank commitment. Headset's coming off. Hopefully you can all hear me. And here we go. I don't really like planks, but they're good for me. I need to do more 30-second planks. Keep up building. As you do more lower, or you want less lower back pain, and you do more core stuff, all good things. All right. So, we got stretches, we got floor exercise, and we got 5 more burpees. All right. The stretches, we are, we're going to do one that people don't often do, and that is really, you just kind of want to arch backwards, because in our modern society, you're often leaning forward. And so instead, if you just arch back and you can put your hands on your legs or your butt or even your hips if that helps. But as we arch back, we're stretching that lower part of our spine and decompressing somewhat. And we're helping our hips to properly align again, which will also reduce low back pain. So I can go through a whole lot of stretches on reducing lower back pain, but just doing this arch backwards is a big deal. All right, we got 5 more burpees and a floor exercise of 10 reps. Ooh, I don't really know what floor exercise we should do. I mean, we could, no, that one might be too brutal for me. I don't know that I'm ready for that. We will do one. We're going to come back to the floor here. First, we're going to knock out our 5 burpees. So, headset off yet again. And, yeah, you can see me decently well. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Not quite as clean as the first 5, but still a good thing for us to do. All right, so we got everything knocked out except 10 floor exercises. 10 reps on a floor exercise. And you know, I think what we're gonna do actually is gonna be jackknife crunches. Ooh, hydrate for Hoku. Here you go. That's good. Hoku says thanks for the cast in game. GG to you, Hoku. GG to you. All right. Whew. We have now, we're going to do 10 jackknife crunches. I'm going to take the headset off again because I think it's going to come off if I don't. All right, so hopefully you can hear me. I know it's going to be a little muffled. Hoku says she's here for the Artanis pigs. Well, I don't know if there's going to be one, but hopefully everyone can see me and hear me for our jackknife crunches. All right, I think you can see me a little bit. We're back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We made it, everybody. Apparently Hoku not allowed to do interviews because of revealing trade secrets. All right, well, you can see my suit's still here. Got the rest of it over there. They did accuse Celadorn of being your alt account. Whew. Well, I don't know who might still be out there in the Heroes of the Storm world. It is about 10 o'clock here in the Rocky Mountains. But we're going to see who we can give our small little group of raid to. All right. Well, there's a lot of folks that don't necessarily speak the same language that I do here. Oh, hey, there's me exercising. I found me on the stream. All right, well, I found someone to raid. We're going to raid Ravens Actual. Yeah, I spelled that right. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I think it was a great night, and thanks for the exercises. I need them. I appreciate it. So, have a wonderful night, and we'll see you the next time we broadcast some NGS action. Thanks, everybody.